Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Panasonic A3 Toughbook tablet. This tablet features replaceable batteries. I'm talking about two different batteries that you're able to do hot swap replacement on it. Also the ability of using a pen input, 4G LTE connectivity, and of course configurations to be able to have, let's say, a smart card reader or even a barcode reader configured right on there. A full-size USB Type-A and USB Type-C, and of course a massive display to enjoy, and of course the ruggedness that Panasonic is known for. This is TK. Let's go ahead and check out the A3 tablet from Panasonic. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. So here we have it. This is the A3 tablet from Panasonic. This is again part of the Toughbook line of devices. As you can see, the black and silver coloring here. Iconic look of the Toughbook laptops that we've seen in the past. 10.1-inch display, but 1080p resolution. It actually can get pretty bright outdoors, up to 800 nits. So it's somewhere between 500 and 800 nits. Let's go ahead and turn it on. There's a power button here. It's not present on the side. That's also one of the unique things. We have 5 configurable buttons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons that we're able to configure. Volume up, volume down, as well as power are actually on the front. So we have no buttons on the side. And the reason why we have buttons here is so that you can actually use this with or without gloves. We have Android 9.0 under the hood, and of course we're running the latest security patch update directly from Panasonic. The main customer or the main user of this type of tablets are going to be basically first responders, factory workers, people that are going to be using tablets in an environment where these things can definitely get damaged or dropped. So definitely you need the protection from what you get from Panasonic. Now, as I mentioned to you guys, this is a 10.1-inch tablet, so we'll go ahead and turn off the display. Let's go ahead and switch over to the back because it actually starts featuring some really cool things. This entire module that you have on the top is configurable at purchase, so it means if you're getting this, you can get it actually with what I have right now, which is a barcode scanner. You can also get an additional USB Type-C port, and I say additional because we actually have 2 ports already in here. On the side here, we can actually have an optional, basically a card reader, a smart card reader for different users of this. Obviously an indicator here for battery 1, battery 2, as we have 1 and 2 batteries that we're able to configure. So let's go ahead and lock and open. And these batteries are hot swappable, which I mean is you notice that the tablet was already on. I can actually remove one of these batteries and we can actually use them and basically replace them as we're going through. So if you have additional batteries, this one by the way is a 3200 milliamp battery that comes standard with it. So there's 2 of them. You're able to get all the way up to 5580 milliampere battery times 2. So imagine that. On the right side here, we have access to the nano SIM, which gives us access also to the ability of accessing the SD card. There's an SD card slot as well as a nano SIM card. So you're able to put in dual nano SIM card options, one here and one on the other side. And then of course, when you're done, just put it back in, plop it in, and then lock it. And of course, the battery will go in. They do recommend you when you're doing the swapping is not to have the display on. So make sure that you turn off the display, turn over the tablet itself, and you're able to hot swap it. And the same thing happens here. If I remove this battery, the LED turns on. And of course, you're able to see what we have. So here is the first nano SIM slot. And of course, now this supports 2 nano SIMs and it is FirstNet ready. And from our understanding, that should be basically compatible with AT&T as well as Verizon. But I was able to test it out with T-Mobile here and I'm running LTE connectivity on it. NFC connectivity, of course, for contactless. This one is more for initiation, not for payment. So think of it as basically scanning or checking into certain areas. So you can actually have an environment where when you won't be able to basically start a new job, you can actually configure it to an NFC tag. And again, the pen itself here is connected via lanyard. On the bottom, we have access to the docking mechanism. So we have the docking strip as well as 2 offsets to stabilize the tablet. On the top, as I mentioned to you guys, we have that scanner, which also has the option of going with the barcode scanner and an additional USB Type-C. As on the right side here, we'll notice that we have a headphone jack. So that's a full-size 2.5, 3mm headphone jack, built-in, protected, of course. As we have a mil-spec rating here of 810H with an IP68 water and dust resistance. An AC adapter here, you can see it right there, DC 16 volt, they do include that in the box, also protected, you're able to connect it, and then of course everything kind of locks in, so it's not just cover, it's down and lock. On the side here, which I want to show you guys, is really nice. So we see here we have a full-size USB Type-A and a full-size USB Type-C. The USB Type-C does actually feature pass-through connectivity, so you're able to connect an MHL adapter and actually project from this tablet to a TV, which makes this very functional for more of a desktop experience. So you can connect it to a TV, mirror your display, and then of course connect the keyboard and mouse here so you have more functional tools there. Of course, otherwise you can also use the USB drive to be able to transfer data, content directly in and out of the tablet itself. Very nice and very rugged. down, and of course lock it in, and it basically just keeps everything set. You'll notice this entire time I didn't mention anything about the speaker because the speaker is actually placed right at the front. It's a mono-firing speaker, but it actually can get all the way up to 94 dB loudness. So definitely a loud speaker to work directly with any kind of experience here. The front-facing camera is a 5 megapixel sensor. On the back it's an 8 megapixel sensor, so we do have standard Android cameras. Not necessarily the best cameras. I feel like they're great for just general images, but overall it actually does work well. Android 9.0 is under the hood, and of course this will be supported for up to 3 years with the standard package, which means if it's purchased directly, 3 years of security patch updates, and operating system upgrades are going to be handled slightly differently. The updates will only be pushed whenever the ecosystem requires it. This ecosystem that we're seeing here is a solution that Panasonic is bringing in with Android over the users of the Windows CE ecosystem in the past. Those are the people that generally used to use these type of tablets, rugged tablets in the past in the environment. So basically like first responders, warehouse workers. And what you see here essentially is the latest security patch update with a deployed system. So think of it as a custom ROM made for a company that deploys over, let's say, 1,000 tablets or 10,000 tablets. So those are the things that you kind of need to see in when they talk about Android. But again, this one's running Android 9.0. And I did install a few applications in here. Obviously, this is something I want to be able to test out. I have Brave browser and of course Netflix, just to kind of see how the content kind of plays. I'll go ahead and lower the volume here since I can't play this content. Let's go ahead and play a quick video. And then as you can see here, viewing angles, again, very nice. You can go all the way to the side, and of course it works really good. And as I mentioned to you guys, this actually works really nicely outdoors, so you're able to obviously do window and window. I did have to increase the brightness, and I do apologize for the flicker, but it's mostly because of the refresh rate that I have recording here. Google Play Store and all the applications are here. Pretty simple. Again, interface is Android, pretty much what we're normally used to using here. So again, keep in mind, very much a very rugged type of a tablet that is intended to basically carry any company from 3 to 5 years. 3 years is the standard, but of course up to 5 years with replaceable parts as well as security patch updates. The buttons that I mentioned to you guys are configurable, so I'm able to press the button here, I'm able to turn on the torch, I've configured that. I'm also able to turn on Google search here. Okay, I pre-configured these buttons, and of course I'm able to push here the buttons, the A3 to go home, and of course here I turned on the menu. And all of these things are actually configurable directly here under the button mapper, and you're able to configure them with basically long presses and short presses. The barcode scanner is really cool because you're able to even test it out, so let's go ahead and turn on the demo mode, and you could kind of see where that will turn it on. And you can also configure it to run with one of the buttons, so you can actually see it as basically easy to use, very simple. And it actually does read barcodes. I tried it out on a box, and it actually does work, and it'll register what the barcode is saying. So a lot of cool functional things that we have here, on top of the fact that this is a rugged type of a tablet that you could use in any field environment. Definitely, I would say overboard when it comes to using it as a consumer base, but definitely very nice for anybody that's in an environment that needs toughness from a tablet, configuration, replaceable batteries, long life on the battery, and of course, different options to be able to suit your needs on a daily. So one of the main things that really excite me about this is the fact that the processor that we're using here is that even though it's a mid-range type of a processor, the Snapdragon 660, it's actually going to have a long life. And what I mean by this is Qualcomm is committed to making this chipset available for at least 5 years, which means Panasonic or any other manufacturer can use that for tablets, and of course replacement parts are going to be much easier. This is different than what we see with smartphones. Every year we see a new chipset come out, and generally the last generation of the chipset gets faded out, and actually by the time 2 years go around, there's probably no way to find the third generation or 2 generations ago chipset available today. Different here. We have 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of internal storage, expandable with the XD card. We have FirstNet ready connectivity as well as Wi-Fi and GPS. So there's a lot of things to be said about this tablet. The pen input works really nicely actually, and it looks really good outdoors. As far as the brightness, it can get up to 800 nits, and the loudspeaker that we have here can get so loud that it actually can overpower any other sound environment. So if you're trying to listen to actually either video instructions, or even if you're trying to make a video call on this, there's not going to be a question about you being able to hear the other person on the tablet.
So let's not waste any time. This is TK, and this is the Find X2 Pro running Android 11 beta. Subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to.
I want to say thank you very much to Panasonic for allowing me to check out the Toughbook A3 tablet. It is definitely a workhorse, and whoever actually ends up going to a job or getting a job that actually is offering this type of tablet, you're in luck. This is going to be a great tablet that will last for a long time and should be able to meet all your needs and then some. This is TK. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys in the next video.